Hey everyone, welcome back to another skincare related video. So you might be moisturizing your skin the right way. You might be using anti-aging essences every single day. You might be taking in skin supplements every day. But if you're not wearing sunscreen every single day, then you're as good as not doing anything for your skin. The list of damages and exposure can bring to our skin is endless and also deadly, which is why it is crucial for us to protect our skin from the sun. So I've seen way too many people, including 2017 to mid-2018 me, skipping out on sunscreen just because we're not heading out of our house. Unless you close all the curtains in your house or you don't have any windows in your house, UV rays can still penetrate your window. Like right now, I'm sitting in front of a window filming with direct sunlight. I've also seen a lot of people skipping out on sunscreen just because their foundation has SPF. I mean, I used to be one of those people, so I know how it feels to be lazy about sunscreens. I feel like most people like the habit of putting on sunscreen because the benefits of sunscreen is not really that obvious as compared to like a cleanser or a moisturizer. You can immediately feel like your skin is clean, or you can immediately feel like your skin is moisturized, which is why people don't really put sunscreen. And then when skin problems arises, they blame it on their essences, their moisturizers, when it could be the fact that they have been skipping out on sunscreen. Another common sunscreen mistakes that a lot of people make is not putting on enough sunscreen. Like I mentioned earlier on, some people don't use sunscreen because they feel like their foundation already has SPF, but that's actually not enough. Also, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, on the internet, just putting like a pea-sized amount of sunscreen for their entire face. I mean, come on, you can cut back on the essences, the moisturizers, whatever, but when it comes to sunscreen, that's when you have to be a bit more generous. So that said, before you run out and buy yourself a random sunscreen with the highest SPF, or you start slapping layers and layers of sunscreen on your skin, know that not all sunscreens are good for your skin. Obviously, it boils down to the ingredients again. So personally for me, knowing the importance of sunscreen, it is a product that I use every single day. So it's really important for me to know that the ingredients are not causing any damage to my skin, or more importantly, clogging my skin. In addition, because sunscreen is the very last step to my skincare routine and I usually don't put any foundation or whatsoever, it's really important for me that the sunscreen has a really pleasant texture and it doesn't peel. So after that long ass introduction, today I will be reviewing a total of 10 sunscreens. 10. I can't believe I have 10 sunscreens. I actually have more. I actually have 12. But I thought today I'm just gonna review 10, the ones that I feel like you guys would be more interested in, and the ones that I've been using recently as well. Okay, so unlike my cleanser review, I won't be putting the ingredient list on the screen because I do find that it's a little bit distracting and messy, but I will have the ingredient list in my blog post. So if you're interested to see the ingredient list for yourself, I'll leave a link to the blog post in the description box below. Also, a final disclaimer before I finally begin, I admit that I'm not really that educated on the specific ingredients that provide sun protection, but nevertheless, I will try my best to point out the pros and cons of each and every sunscreen, as always. One last thing, I do have my laptop here with me again because again I need to refer to the ingredient list. I've also written down some points that I want to mention in this video, so if I'm looking as if I'm reading off something, it is because I'm reading off something. So our very first sunscreen is the Crave the Sun sunscreen. If you've watched my Crave Beauty review, you will know how I feel about this sunscreen already, but I'm just gonna repeat everything again, including more points, because I don't expect you to watch all my content. So what I love about this sunscreen, first and foremost, is definitely the texture of the sunscreen. It's very smooth, it's very lightweight, it's very layerable, and because this contains beetroot extract and alcohol, it gives off a very refreshing and cooling effect when you put it on your skin, which honestly feels really good. The sunscreen also contains moisture attracting ingredients to help boost the moisture levels in my skin, and it also contains a little bit of macadamia seed oil, which can help seal in the moisture. Lastly, I also love that it has a really slight green tint to it, which can help cancel out any mild redness in my skin. Okay, so like I said, this sunscreen contains a really huge amount of alcohol, and while Crave has already explained why they chose to include alcohol in their formula, basically it is to improve the consistency and texture of the product. You just can't deny that alcohol is damaging for your skin. So I get this asked a lot of times, like since a lot of popular sunscreens and a lot of skincare products contains a really huge amount of alcohol, doesn't it mean that it's okay to use? Like maybe it's really necessary to have alcohol in the products? So in response to questions like this, I just want you to think of alcohol as sugar in our diet and in our food. So a lot of delicious food contains a huge amount of sugar. Sugar brings out the flavors in a lot of dishes. My favorite brown sugar bubble tea is filled with sugar and it's super delicious, but is it good for my body? It isn't. In fact, it is one of the most unhealthiest bubble tea choices available in the world. So food with sugar obviously tastes way better than like steamed broccolis, but it doesn't change the fact that sugar is unnecessary and unhealthy as hell. So I just want you to think about it. Do businesses really care about your health? Like whether or not it's the health of your skin or the health of your body, obviously they don't care because what they care about is profits. And alcohol, like sugar, is a really cheap ingredient that can easily improve the texture, the consistency of a skincare product or the flavors of a dish. So you might not see the negative impacts of a high sugar diet in like a couple of weeks or so, especially if you're very young and you're overall a very healthy person. But we all know that having a long-term high sugar diet is only going to accumulate damages to your body, and that is the same with alcohol to your skin. So the pros of this sunscreen, it's very lightweight, it is layerable, and it feels very refreshing on my skin. The cons is it contains a really high amount of alcohol, and also it contains the macadamia seed oil if you're acne prone. The next sunscreen is the Etude House Sun Price Natural Corrector Sunscreen. So this sunscreen has the longest ingredient list ever. So I stumbled upon this sunscreen when I was looking for a sunscreen that can help brighten up my skin tone. So this one definitely does that. It naturally corrects my skin tone. It also brightens up my skin. But as expected from K-Beauty, this does contain fragrance and actually a really quite a big amount of fragrance in it. And then towards the end of the list, there's also a bunch of oils, and surprisingly humectants like glycerin is one of the last couple of ingredients, which I would appreciate if it came in a bigger quantity, because what is humectants at the bottom of the ingredient list gonna do for my skin? Okay, so while I did enjoy using this sunscreen for a couple of weeks because I really liked the brightening effect, I didn't really like the texture of it because it's really thick and tacky, which makes it really difficult to blend out. Moreover, like I said, I'm really generous when it comes to sunscreen, but you can't use a lot of this product because if you use too much of this product, you'll just look like a really pale ghost with like really streaky face because it's not gonna blend out properly. I also think that this might be clogging my pores because I did use this for quite a long time, and at that period of time I was still breaking out here and there, and I mean the texture is really thick and oily feeling, so I'm not surprised if this was actually clogging my skin. So the pros of this sunscreen, it brightens and even out your skin tone. The cons is it contains a lot of oils, it has a lot of fragrance, it has a really thick texture that is difficult to blend. So the next sunscreen is another K-Beauty one, and it is the CosRx Aloe Soothing Sun Cream. Because I have acne, my skin tends to feel irritated at times, which is why I was actually attracted to this sunscreen because it contains aloe vera, which can provide soothing effects to the skin. So taking a look at the ingredients, this has glycerin as its third ingredient, which is a good start, and then we have alcohol. So you should know by now that alcohol is drying and damaging and irritating for our skin, which is ironic because this sunscreen is supposed to be soothing due to the aloe in it, but when you look into the ingredient list, both the aloe and soothing ingredients comes after the irritating alcohol. This also has fragrance in it, but it is the last couple of ingredients. So I can see why people like this sunscreen. The texture is really pleasant, it's very lightweight, it doesn't feel oily or tacky at all. Even though this contains alcohol, alcohol is not one of the top few ingredients, which makes it not so bad, but still bad. I mean, again, think of it as sugar. Less sugar is obviously better than lots of sugar, but no sugar is still the best. Especially if you have really severe acne, damaged skin, dehydrated skin, eczema, rosacea. Just do your skin a favor and just stop using alcohol in your skincare. So after a couple of problematic sunscreens, I thought this would be the perfect time to slot in a less problematic one, and it is the Bioderma Photoderm Spot. So in terms of ingredients, this sunscreen has really safe ingredients, especially for acne-prone skin, because this sunscreen doesn't contain any drying alcohols, no essential oils, no fragrance, and most importantly, no oils. I also really like how this sunscreen is made specifically to protect damaged skin and scars, because I have a lot of acne scars, and if you want your acne scars and marks to go away quicker, to fade, to heal quicker, you really need to ensure that they are getting sufficient protection from the UV rays. So this was my go-to sunscreen for many weeks because of the safe ingredients, and while I was using this, my skin didn't broke out. My skin was healing really well, but what bothered me was how this sunscreen actually peels throughout the day, meaning that throughout the day, this product will actually form like little white chunks on my skin, which is a little bit awkward. You know, you can't really put foundation over it because the texture goes a little bit weird, and I usually don't put foundation on, so you can see like the white chunks on my skin, which can be a little bit awkward. So even though this problem can be easily solved by simply not putting like too much product on your skin, like I mentioned, I love to be more generous when it comes to sunscreen, especially over the areas where I have a lot of acne scars. I like to layer like 2 layers of sunscreen, and I find that impossible with this product. So the pros of this sunscreen, it contains safe ingredients for sensitive and oily skin. The cons is it peels. So speaking of textures of sunscreens, the next sunscreen has probably the best texture, especially if you're the kind of person who wears makeup every single day. The next sunscreen is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. This sunscreen is called Unseen Sunscreen because it doesn't have any color to it, it doesn't give your skin that white cast, and what's amazing is it feels exactly like a primer in a sense that it helps to smooth out uneven skin textures, and it also mattifies your skin. This product also has really safe ingredients, even though I know some people are not that fond of silicone. Silicone is actually not harmful for your skin if you read up about it. Moreover, the silicone in this product is the second last ingredient, so it really isn't justifiable to overlook all its good points just because of silicone. This product is on the pricier side, but if you're a person who uses sunscreen and primer, you can now throw away your primer and just use this as a primer. So the pros of this sunscreen, it has no white cast, it has safe ingredients, and it works exactly like a primer, so it's like a 2-in-1. And the cons is none unless you hate the feeling of primers. Going back to K-Beauty, next we've got this one from Purito. This is the Comfy Water Sunblock. So this product was actually sent to me to review, so I was very excited because, you know, I love Purito, the brand. I've mentioned it in my cleanser review as well. So looking at the ingredients, I do like how this sunscreen contains a really good amount of hydrating ingredients like glycerin, niacinamide, medicaicide, and actually a lot more, which makes this really suitable for people with dry and dehydrated skin. The texture of this product is also very pleasant. It's very lightweight, it's non-tacky, which I love. It's just a really smooth, creamy texture. But unfortunately, this product contains 3 perfuming ingredients, aka essential oils that will sensitize your skin. Not very surprising because this is K-Beauty after all. In addition, I feel like there is a lack of ingredients that provide sun protection. Most of the main ingredients are emollients and hydrating ingredients, but this is a sunscreen, it's not a moisturizer. So the pros of this sunscreen, it is very hydrating and it has a really pleasant texture. The cons of this sunscreen, it contains essential oils, and I feel like it lacks of ingredients that provide sun protection. Moving on, we've got another sunscreen from Purito. This is the Centella Green Level Safe Sun Sunscreen, and disclaimer, this product was also sent to me to review. So looking at the ingredient list, the first ingredient that caught my attention is vitamin E. Vitamin E is an antioxidant which provides sun protection. At the same time, it also acts as an emollient, so it helps smooth the texture of your skin while providing occlusive properties. This also contains Centella asiatica, which has anti-inflammatory benefits, hence it aids in the healing of the skin. And then it also contains hyaluronic acid, glycerin, niacinamide for hydration. So I actually really like this sunscreen. The texture is even more smooth and light as compared to this one, and it smells really nice. Unfortunately, because it smells really nice and because it's K-beauty, this contains an essential oil and it's lavender oil, which is why it smells so good. It really smells like lavender and it's so calming, but lavender oil is sort of like the opposite of calming when it comes to topically applying it onto our skin. So the pros of this sunscreen, it contains Centella to help calm and heal the skin. It has a really pleasant texture, and what else? It also contains humectants and vitamin E, but the cons is it contains essential oil. Lots of K-beauty stuff today. The next sunscreen we've got is the Sun by Me TrueCica Mineral 100 Calming Sun Cream. So this product was also sent to me from Sun by Me actually a really long time ago, even before I went to Korea. So if you just listen to the name of this product, the highlight is supposed to be Centella, aka Cica. But if you look at the ingredient list, Centella is nowhere to be found until the last 7th ingredient. So my first impression of this sunscreen is that it smells completely like tea tree, and it's probably because this does contain both tea tree water and also tea tree oil. Yes, again, an essential oil. So in my cleanser review video, someone commented that there are actually a lot of studies that proved how tea tree oil can improve acne condition, and I do think tea tree oil can provide us benefits because it does have antibacterial properties, and one of the main components of acne is bacteria. However, the reason why I said that tea tree oil is not scientifically proven to help acne is because tea tree oil is still an ingredient that is lacking in a lot of other ways, in a lot of other areas. For example, tea tree oil is not scientifically proven to help heal acne scars. It is scientifically proven to actually kill skin cells, so it causes your skin to be sensitive. So from my point of view, I would definitely not recommend tea tree oil, because the main thing here about tea tree oil is its antibacterial properties, and there are a lot of other safer ingredients that can also help kill acne causing bacteria, such as azelaic acid, benzoperoxide, sulfur ointment. All these are a lot safer ingredients that can also help kill bacteria. So other than that, this also contains orange peel oil and lavender oil, which are both fragrance. And the funny thing is, you get more fragrance than the Centella Asiatic, which also means you get more irritating than calming. I feel like at the point when I was using this sunscreen, my skin was a lot more sensitive and irritated than usual, and I felt like using this sunscreen actually made it worse, probably due to the tea tree oil. When I was using this sunscreen, my skin felt itchy, irritated, and it definitely did not sit well or blend in well with my other skincare products as well. And overall, I didn't really like the strong tea tree scent of this product as well. So the pros of this sunscreen is probably none, and the cons is it contains essential oils and it just smells like tea tree. I don't actually hate the smell of tea tree, but this is just really strong. Moving on, we've got the Avène Fluid Fragrance-Free SPF 50 sunscreen. So to keep things simple and short, the ingredients in this sunscreen contains no harmful or drying ingredients. Even though compared to the K-beauty sunscreens, I feel like this one seems to be lacking in the hydrating department. I feel like it is important to remember that what you're looking for is a sunscreen and not a moisturizer. So what matters more is that this product does its job in providing you sun protection without damaging or sensitizing your skin. So this product is another one that is also made for very damaged skin and scars, which is nice, which I love because I do have a bunch of acne scars that can appreciate a good shield. So in terms of the texture and consistency, this feels a lot like the one from Bioderma in the sense that it's a fluid, so it's quite watery, but at the same time it's also kind of tacky. For the peeling, this one does peel, but very little, just a little bit. So it's not really an issue for me because I don't really see that white chunks. Oh, and I really like how this comes in a pump, with a pump as well. So the pros of this sunscreen, it provides a really high protection, it contains safe ingredients, and it has a fairly lightweight texture that I feel like is very suitable for people with oily skin. And then for the cons, if I really have to like point out one, it's kind of expensive. This is $50. The final sunscreen, I guess you can say that I kept the best for the last. The final sunscreen is the Bioderma Photoderm Max sunscreen. So the sunscreen again provides very high protection, which is good if you have damaged skin or you have a lot of acne scars, hyperpigmentation. Again, this also has very safe ingredients, no drying alcohols, no essential oils, no fragrance, no oils, and if you're interested, this also doesn't contain silicone. In fact, out of all the sunscreens in the list, only the Bioderma sunscreens, the Etude House one and the one from Crave, doesn't contain silicone. So in terms of the consistency and the texture, this one is definitely more watery than these two. I feel like the texture is really, or the consistency is very similar. It's a little bit watery and also a little bit tacky when you try and blend it out. But this one, I feel like it's more obvious that it's more watery. It is quite tacky and sticky when you try and blend it out, but it doesn't really bother me because once you blend it out, you know, it doesn't feel sticky or anything. So this one comes with a really thin little tip, and if you hold it this way, the product will just flow out. So I feel like that is proof that this is a lot more watery as compared to the other two that I showed you guys just now. So the pros of this sunscreen, it provides very high protection. It has very safe ingredients for both sensitive and oily skin, normal skin, dry skin. It has a really nice texture as well. It doesn't peel, and it is my go-to sunscreen. And then for the cons, I would say none. I really cannot think of any cons about this sunscreen. So those are all the sunscreens I will be reviewing today. Currently I am rotating between the few that I like, so mainly the ones that doesn't contain alcohol, so the ones from Bioderma and Avène, as well as the unseen sunscreen from Supergoop, especially when I'm wearing makeup. So if you have a holy grail sunscreen, please let me know what it is in the comment section below. I would love to know what you've been liking. If the ingredients are suitable for my skin, I would love to try them out, especially if they're on the affordable side. So once again, please keep in mind that everyone's skin is different, and this review and this guide is done based on my personal skin, my own skin, which is oily and acne prone, and also I would say a little bit dehydrated and sensitive. So we've come to the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys find this video helpful, and so I will be signing off right now. I will see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye!